Shohei Ohtani's first RBI in a Dodger uniform. And here she is.
Hotter now than it's ever been, considering the money they went out and spent.
There are a lot of guys who are going to do the same things he's going to do offensively, and after a while, watching it bat after at bat after bat over 162 games, we're going to get a little bored. They gave him $320 million. Can he pitch the first game of the season? For crying out loud? Oh, my God. I'm going to put pressure on him all year long. It's Jessica, there's no excuses.
Let's go.
Win the title.
皆さん、こんにちは。こんばんは。MLB 翻訳忍者です。本日は2024年3月21日に米国で放送された大谷翔平に関するニュースをご紹介します。日本時間の3月20日にメジャーリーグの開幕戦が行われました。パドレスと対戦したドジャースですが、5対2で初戦を見事勝利で収めました。大谷対ダルビッシュの熱いシーンや松井裕樹の奪三振ショーもあり、見どころ満載の開幕戦となりました。大谷は5打数2安打1打点に盗塁を1つ決めており、米国では公式戦のデビューも相まって初打点の大谷に大盛り上がり、ドジャースの開幕戦の様子は米国有名番組 EPSN でも取り上げていました。番組ではアンチ大谷として有名なマット・ドッグやスティーブンが出演しており、今季の大谷の展望やドジャースはチャンピオンシップになれるかを議論していました。それでは米国番組 EPSN の議論の様子を日本語字幕付きで2本ご覧ください。
The Dodgers and Padres with the first regular season game this morning in South Korea. The Dodgers tied and broke it open in the 8th inning, which featured Shohei Ohtani's first RBI in a Dodger uniform. And here she is. It is great to be joined by my girl, Jessica Mendoza. You know I'm always so happy to see you.
Great
We're going to talk a little baseball. Mad Dog's fired up about that. Might sneak in Stephen A's Yanks. Tell me this, Jess, do you trust this loaded Dodgers team to win the World Series?
Trust. That's a big word right there.
It's a big word. It is a big word for all of us.
You know, this is a team that, I mean, they've been one of the best teams in baseball, and honestly, they should have been to the World Series and won one by now. You think the last decade and what they've done, and then they went out this offseason and did everything. So yes, if they can't do it now, I don't see how any team buying and spending over $1 billion to already add to how talented they already were.
Does that mean Dave Roberts is on the hot seat?
He's always on the hot seat. I mean, every year.
But is it hotter now than it's ever been, considering the money they went out and spent and the personnel they got?
It's more Andrew Friedman than Dave Roberts. You got to understand the role of manager now is such a different thing. I mean, for him to be on the hot seat, it's when you're taking pitchers out and how you're manipulating within the game. But to me, it's how the team is structured when you talk about chemistry and talent. And that comes from the front office. That's who's on the hot seat now more than ever.
I think you have a better chance to win a championship. In baseball, it's postseason, it's a crapshoot. I think you have a better chance to win a championship when you go under the radar. Who thought Texas last year was going to win the title? They won 10 straight road games. Atlanta, nobody thought Atlanta was going to beat the Dodgers a couple years ago when they did that and they beat Houston. I think you're better off coming out of nowhere to win than if you start the postseason with the onus on your back. And the Dodgers, I don't care if they win 140 games. Nobody cares. Their season's going to start October 3rd. Can they win 11? And it is 11, not 10. 11. Can they win 11? Ohtani's never done that. You know, Freeman and Betts have, but not for LA. I mean, it's a lot of issues. So I would say it is do or die, and I don't think they will.
Well, this is one of those slow opening games, Jess, but what do you take away from Shohei's first appearance as a Dodger?
Well, first of all, I mean, just baseball being played in South Korea for the first time. I was giddy. I mean, this is something going back to the KBO days when we were calling games. But watching Shohei, I mean, just the excitement, the anticipation, and guys, he's on a playoff contending team. Hallelujah. And he's got protection. We talked about Mookie in front, Freddie behind him.
I'm going to go the other way on Ohtani. He's a DH this year. Part of his greatness is uniqueness. He's not going to pitch. There are a lot of guys who are going to do the same things he's going to do offensively, and after a while, watching it bat after at bat after bat over 162 games, we're going to get a little bored because there's a million guys who can do offensively what he does. So I'll play devil's advocate and say without pitching.
But is it about getting bored, or is it about finding a way to win World Series championships with Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this team, we want to see them not only at the World Series, but win the World Series. That's the expectation. Shohei's going to help them do it. And I think he's going to end up playing the outfield. We're going to see something at the back end of this year where I don't think it's going to be that boring.
3 former MVP, Shohei Ohtani, the reigning MVP, and want to see dividends being paid right now.
I mean, let's be real. It's been World Series or bust for the last 10 years. I mean, this is one of the best teams in baseball. And Mad Dog said it perfectly. Like, they haven't performed in October. So they went out and spent, like, nothing we have seen, the amount of guys that they've brought in. So the pressure's already been there. And now you got Shohei. Now you have Yamamoto. You got Tyler Glasnow, Teoscar Hernandez. Like, heck yes, this team not only better get there, they better win.
I'll say one other thing, too. You think Bob Gibson wouldn't want the ball on opening day? Yeah. Yamamoto not pitching today, he's pitching tomorrow. And Jessica told me earlier he's not pitching opening day at Dodger Stadium. They gave him $320 million. Can he pitch the first game of the season? Oh, my God.
Well, I think, Mad Dog, they're not bringing him in to pitch the first game of the season.
The last game.
They're worried about him pitching the last game and somewhere in the World Series.
Now, last year they did a great job with the pace, but remember, too, a lot of games against the Dodgers are going to be a lot slower because managers and the other team are going to try to figure out a way to get through that lineup in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And pitchers get afraid, they step off the rubber, the manager comes out and talk. So those games are always going to be a little slower, 7th, 8th, and 9th. But back to your scenario with the Dodgers. They've won 1 championship since '88. That was in a pandemic, 60 games. They haven't had a parade in Southern California since Jessica was a little child. And I was an old man at that point, too. But it's about time now. I'm going to put pressure on them all year long. Jessica, there's no excuses.
Let's go.
Win the title.
Go.
Win the title.
まず体調がいいのが一番かなと思うので、こうやって今日まず試合に出れて、最後までまず出て終わったっていうのがまず一つ術後の経過として、そういうスタートを切れたっていうのが一番良かったことじゃないかなと思います。
ヒット割れする後にそのコーチとヘルメット割れするのあれは何なんですか？なんか
あれはもうハンドシェイクみたいなコーチの方からこれと
緊張感とかその辺気持ちの面っていうのはいかがでしょうか？初試合
緊張感はありましたけど、でもピッチャーの方がやっぱり緊張するので、それはやっぱ変わらないですし、そういうのに比べるとやっぱりちょっとリラックスしながら今日は入れたんじゃないかなと思います。
もうこっちに来てからのそのオープン戦の2試合、今日に比べればなんかスイングがなんかちょっと良くなかったふうにちょっと見えたんですけど、その間に調整みたいなのをしたんでしょうか。
ちょっと体がやっぱ硬かったんで、構えからちょっと違和感ありましたし、そのせいでこう、ゾーンがちょっとずれてたのかなとは思うので、昨日ケアをしてリセットして休んで今日良かったので、また明日までにリカバリーしたいと思って、集中してなと思います。
最後の塁上のアウト
あれはもう完全に僕のミスなので、僕の中では越さずにこうタッチして帰ってきたつもりだったんですけど、判定が越してるっていうことだったんで、そこら辺はまた反省しながら明日やりたいと思います。
明日山本投手先発、初めてこのメジャーリーグのマウンドに立つわけですけど、大谷選手が何かこう送った言葉とかってあるんでしょうか？
いや、ないですね。本人もあんまり緊張しなさそうなタイプなので、リラックスしてまず入れると思いますし、今日勝ったので、それもまたリラックスして入れる一つの要因じゃないかなと思いますし、早い回でまた援護できればいいんじゃないかなと思います。
ありがとうございました。
いかがだったでしょうか。大谷に続き山本まで火の粉がかかりましたが、活躍して見返してほしいなと思いました。引き続き彼らの活躍に注目ですね。本チャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地ニュースを日本語字幕付きでお送りしています。よければチャンネル登録、高評価をよろしくお願いします。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。